Right. In looking at this sample problem 1, okay, it asks us to sketch a circle. So a sketch is just a hand-drawn figure. So if I just draw in my circle here, it doesn't have to be to scale. It just needs to look like a circle. If there's any properties that need to be labeled, label those. In this particular case, there are none. And next it asks me to draw a triangle inside this circle. So what I would want to do is I'd want to use a tool to draw a straight line. So you can use a ruler or straight edge. There's nothing specific about it other than it's being drawn. So as long as I use a tool to draw straight lines, so here's a straight line connecting another straight line connecting my last. And so now I have this triangle that's been drawn. Again, make sure that you follow directions on the construction worksheet, on homework, on test or quiz questions. It will specify for you sketch, draw, or construct, and those mean different things. All right, as far as finding the angle measure here, ABC, okay, a few things to keep in mind. First, what I would do anytime you're doing a protractor or measurement of an angle problem is estimate is it acute or obtuse? And the reason for that is the most common mistake on these types of the measurement problems, because it's not a difficult thing to measure. The mistake is oftentimes when you look at the protractors, they have two numbers on each measure. They have an inside number and an outside number. So the most common mistake is to read the wrong number. But if you estimate right away, your first thing is this an acute or obtuse angle. So in this one, ABC, is this acute or obtuse? All right, so if my number is not between 90 and 180, I'm making a mistake, right? So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Don't have to physically write it out, but do keep that in the back of your mind. Okay. The next thing is make sure that you measure the correct angle. Okay, so on this, I know my vertex is B. So when I set up my protractor, I want to place the crosshairs of my protractor right on that vertex, in this case B. So as I take my crosshairs here and use a protractor, which again I'm assuming everybody's done since my fourth grader has done it. Right? But when you place a protractor crosshair, place it right on the vertex. Right, so there, point B is right on my crosshair. Okay, align the bottom of my protractor along one side of my angle, and then identify what it passes through. So as I look through here, I'm expecting it to be an obtuse angle. So if I look and I see that the angle it passes through and it happens to go right through here, 60 degrees or 120, which of those should I choose? 120. So my answer is going to be 120 for this. Okay. Now let's say you couldn't see exactly. This one happened to fall right on one of these markings that I have. If that's the case, or if you can't see where it intersects your protractor, there's one of two things that you can do. Okay, one, you could extend your sides, and that's not a bad idea. If you place or use your straight edge and just extend your sides of your angle so that it's easier to measure. The larger something is, the more likely it is to be more exact. And so if you extend this out and measure it, you should be able to see where the protractor intersects it in a little bit easier fashion. Okay. So in addition to that, what you could also do if you didn't want to extend the sides themselves, what you could do is you could lay your ruler right on top of your protractor to see where the extension would fall. Okay. There are some protractors that have that kind of built into it. So this would be a case where it built in, so you don't need to extend the side if you have a protractor like this. But if you don't, what you could do without this is you just take your ruler and kind of angle it so that you can see where exactly it passes through. So you can kind of create your own very easily with that. All right. Heads up. The two things that I wrote right here, those are the mistakes students make in measuring angles. And as much as I'd like to think that will never happen because it's an easy thing, it's almost one of the easiest things you can do, it happens because students are careless, they don't read the right angle, or they write down the wrong thing. They'd write down 60